Hi guys, I'm KM, and this video is going to be about the beauty industry. When I was 16, I studied hairdressing. Hairdressing and cosmetology. I had the privilege of starting my college degree. By the time I was 18, I was well on my way to completing it. Now, I could have studied both hairdressing and cosmetology, although it would have taken me double the time, so I decided just to do hairdressing. And there was young girls in my class, say young girls, but I was the same age, who were learning both. So, we were listening to both material. At the same time, we were listening to cosmetology as well as hairdressing while we were learning. When I was about 18, so around the same age, I became very drawn into this world. Very interested, wanted to know as much as possible and do as much as I could and learn as fast as I could. So my mom started seeing a pattern of my hair changing as often as possible, and my face started changing because I was getting my eyebrows done as much as I could. And eventually she sat me down and she told me her personal story, which was basically, in her day, she also took the beauty world very seriously by buying magazines and curling her hair as regularly as she could and doing her makeup routine, learning as much as she could from reading stuff on books and watching TV programs. And by the time she was about 24, 25, she noticed that her eyebrows weren't growing back. The hair on her eyebrows weren't growing back. So when she said by the time I was born, she was drawing them in. I was born when she was 29. So from the age of 28, 29, my mom had to draw in her eyebrows because they never grew back, because she plucked them too much. See, that's the thing. When she was reading all those tips, those beauty tips in the magazines, nobody warned her of the problems. So I'm very grateful to my mom, which is why, as you can see, I still have my original eyebrows, because she explained it in an emotional way where it obviously affected her and she didn't want it to affect me. So, I went completely the other way where I was watching that. If I had plucked them too regularly, I started paying attention to, is this going to stop growing back now? And I made sure it didn't happen to me, because my mom made sure it wouldn't happen to me. And that's the thing that the industry don't educate you on. I studied it, and nobody in the industry educated me on it. Nor did any of the books that I studied, all the professional books that I studied, all the professional people that I worked with, nobody gave me that tip, because they don't warn you. And while we're working we used to tell our customers, you need to trim your hair every 6 to 8 weeks. That's not true. The reason why we do that is because we need regular customers. You keep trimming your hair too regularly and you keep coloring your hair, it's gonna break off, and that's half the problem. It was around 2019 where I worked for a hairdressing company in Ireland, and I kept seeing these clients come in because they wanted blonde hair. Their hair was breaking off. But we weren't giving them the right education of like how to look after that. Because all people really care about, and I'm just generalizing here, is the money that we're making, putting in, I say our back pocket, but the salaries, because at the end of the day, you need to put bread on your table, feed your families. Nobody really cares about the person's eyebrows not growing back or their hair not, being in a good condition, except for your parents and your friends or your family, the ones who really care about you. By the time I was about 23, 24, I must have tried every color, plus extensions. Well, I did a few extensions. I didn't get carried away, but I did try extensions. And what I noticed when I was watching clients get extensions put in their hair was their own hair. When they removed the hair extensions, their own hair was coming out. That very same thing happened to my mom when she did artificial nails. My mom decided to put artificial nails on from, I think she was in her 30s, around there, because her natural nail wasn't very strong and it broke very easily. Same as mine, but I don't do anything with my nails because of what happened with my mom. So she read up. My mom was really well read. She read up on a lot of articles that said if you put artificial nails on, then or acrylic, there's different types of nails, but if you put artificial nails on, your own nail can get stronger underneath. That's not true. Quite the opposite, actually, is the truth. Because my mom did it for quite some time, too long, in fact, that her own nails were just too fragile. She got to a point where she just didn't have the choice anymore. She had to keep putting the fake nails on because the natural nail didn't have all of it. It didn't have it was just too frail. And she would do this and it would just like flop. So she carried on with fake nails. That is the truth about the industry. The more you do, the more you have to do. I don't know if there's any people out there who notice the more that you shave, the less hair you've got. And that could be a great thing. Yeah. But the more you take away, the less you have. That's why they say less is more. Less makeup shows your natural beauty. Less damage to your hair is giving your hair breathing time. Time to breathe. I know it sounds weird, but everything's made up of energy. Your hair is energy. It needs to breathe. Now, this video is not telling anyone don't do anything, with your skin or with your hair. All I'm doing is trying to create awareness because I have experience in that industry. So I've gone the opposite way. I stopped coloring my hair, probably 6 years ago now, because I kept looking at women who were a little older than me, and what I noticed is them complaining about how often they had to color their hair. And, they were like some people were every 3-4 weeks. And it eventually hit a nerve in me, and I went, hold on, I'm already coloring my hair every 2 months. I'm going to get to a point, I'm going to get to a point where this isn't a choice anymore. This is actually a choice. I want to do this. But now what ladies and even guys are telling me that it's not a choice. It's become their necessity. So I'm just going to stop. And when it becomes a necessity, then maybe I'll start again. But right now I have a choice to just enjoy my natural look. And I still am one of those lucky ones, because if I do have gray hair, it's only a few, so I am able to leave it naturally. I hope this video helps. So yeah, less is more. And if you want to, absolutely, it's your choice. It's your choice what you do. All I'd like to say is be cautious. Because a choice is one thing. Having to is another. Waking up every morning and having to draw in your eyebrows, or having to tattoo your eyebrows because you don't have a choice anymore, that's a different story. I'll see you guys soon.